and then I'll just edit some shit out. All right. So welcome. You're gonna learn how to use the FTIR here at West. So before you can, if you actually will come and take a look right here, you'll see that you have a little bit of a little speck, something that's dirty. So let's talk about cleaning the plate here on the FTIR. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna always have access to a chem wipe, which you're going to grab. Please make sure that you spray onto the chem wipe and that you do not spray anything directly onto the plate. This little tip right here can be moved away very easily with 1 finger's worth of strength. You don't need to go too much. Please make sure that you wipe the plate nice and clean, and that you also take the time to wipe the tip at the bottom here to ensure that there's no leftover material from a previous experiment. For example, right there, you can actually see that there was something that was on the tip, so that would mess with your experimental results. So now that you've cleaned both sides, and you make sure that everything is nice and clean, now we can begin on loading a sample and taking some data. Now, if you're gonna deal with a substance that is a little bit on the smelly side and you don't feel safe, always feel free to use this particular machine here. The little lever that is up here, you can push it up and you'll hear suction that's gonna start coming out. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we are going to push this back into its place. You're gonna hear a click. Done. After that, this knob, when you rotate it clockwise, you'll notice that it will start going down. If you rotate it counterclockwise, it will go up. Your goal before loading any sample is to load this clockwise and make sure that it presses very gently on the plate. Do not put excess amount of strength or you will break the very expensive diamond tip. Notice that the moment that I see a little bit of pressure on it, I am done, and I no longer put anything else on the plate. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can go into our software here. The first thing that we're going to click is preview and measure sample. Let's measure our background to begin. You'll see this pop-up window begin where it's going to start reading the background that is currently present right now in the FTIR. It should look something like this every single time. You're going to click Start Measure Background here, and you're going to put a name. For the purposes of this video, I will put test. Whoops. And then I will click OK. You'll notice that you're going to have a number of scans that it shows down here, and at the same time you know that it is scanning, because if you pay attention to the FTIR, you're going to see a little green light that is repeatedly going back and forth. Once you see that the scans are complete here, that is when your background has essentially been measured. And now at this point, okay, now we can actually start our sample measurement. So the sample is loaded in the following way. We're going to twist this counterclockwise. We are going to push away the tip away. I don't know why there's still a little bit residual material there. And you're going to grab the sample that you will deposit. The tip on this plate, you can either load solid or liquids. In this case, I will be working with a 1 propanol, as is stated here on the beaker. You want to make sure that the very center of the plate is completely covered in whatever material you're working with. In this case, it is a liquid. 1 to 2 drops is more than enough. I'm going to return the tip to its place. I'm going to rotate this clockwise, again with gentle pressure, no more than a finger's worth of strength. And then now I will actually begin my sample measurement by clicking Start Sample Measurement. Once again, you'll see the number of scans and the number of scans here on the machine. Your infrared data here at the moment. Okay, so once the data has been acquired, you'll see that you'll get 2 different spectra. Those spectra are here on the sides. You have one that says background another one, sorry, on the one here that says background in blue, and another one that says test in red. The red is our actual sample, what we tested, which is our 1-propanol. The background, if we want to get rid of it, you can click this little eyeball, the silhouette, and you'll see that the eyeball will go away. It'll get slashed away. When you do that, it makes the background go away. If at any, you'll also notice, let me re-click it again, that if you have a background and let's say you don't like the fact that, you know, it looks like this because it's actually measuring absorbance on the y-axis, you can click on it. And I'm gonna get rid of that part. Okay, so if you want to measure a new sample, ignore that last part, I apologize everybody. If you want to measure a new sample, you are going to click measure new sample. Let me actually clean this first. So before we measure our new sample, what we want to do is get this away. We are going to repeat the entire cleaning process from before. So we're going to do a spray or two. Okay, so once you have cleaned the sample that's there from before, we're going to reuse the exact same one again, but this time to show you how to acquire a new sample for something new. So we move everything away, we clean it. It is now nice and clean. And okay, so at this point we've measured a new background. Excuse the initial mistake from before. The plate is clean with no sample, with no nothing at the moment right now. So we've measured our new background. Now we're going to lift this up and we're going to load our new sample that we do want to measure, which is again, just doing the same solvent again, so the same solution, which is a 1-propanol. I only need 1 drop covering the very center, or 2, I use there. We put the tip back in its place, apply gentle pressure to the plate, and we will click on start sample measurement. So the new IR for the new sample is shown once again. Scans are currently being completed. It should take about a few seconds. Okay, so now you have a bunch of data that is on top of each other. So let's get rid of the stuff that we don't want. We don't care about having anything that says background. So if you look over here on the right hand side, you can see that your mouse can hover over the different tests. So I'm going to remove anything that says background on it. So I'm going to click on the little eyeball to get rid of the background, and now we are left with only these 2 pieces of data, which one of them is known as test and the next one is known as test 2. Okay, so at this point, if you want to compare it to, let's say, something in our library manager, that's something that's used in industry, we can click on identify right here where the mouse is, and we can go to where it says library manager. It's going to take you to this particular window, and you can come up here in the search bar and we will type in 1-propanol hard to type with the gloves. Okay. So once we want to extract it, we will click on 1-propanol and we are going to click on extract. Okay, so once you click on extract, you'll see this window where it says the spectrum 1-propanol was successfully extracted. You're going to click close, and very carefully, only once, you're going to click on where it says dashboard. Only click it once. It's a little slow, so please have patience. Once you return to this window, you're going to click up here where it says the name of your respective spectra. For us, it is called spectra number 1. So we will click spectra 1, and we will go back to the data that we have now. Now notice that we have a new set of peaks here in colored black that look different to what we had before. That is because if we click over here, if we look over here on the right hand side, we now have the data for 1-propanol from our library manager. And if we click on it, it's going to change color. It is now red. You see that on the y-axis, it is under absorbance and not transmittance. You want your data for it to say transmittance. So what you're going to do is click on the color So you're going to click again on where it says propanol right here once. And then you are going to go to this little window up here that says absorbance/transmittance. And voila, it's going to transpose it. It's going to flip it. All right, so at this point, now we have our industry standard being compared to the standards of what we have here for our solution. We are now going to go to identify once again, and we are going to click on this section that says find peaks. So let me click on test first, like our actual test that we did. We're going to go to identify and find peaks. See how it isolates a certain set of data only? This is what I call test 1, I would believe. So you're gonna see that these little windows right here pop up that you can drag over, and you're gonna see some color changes that are gonna happen in a bit. So drag them over all the way to the sides for any peaks that you think are of interest for your experimental data. So once you highlight everything, now you'll see that these peak numbers for your wave numbers will pop up, and you can click on the bottom right hand side where it says save. Once you do that, the respective peaks will pop up here for your data. If you would like to do this, now one thing to keep in mind is that you can drag the number over so that you can clean your data up so that you don't have a bunch of numbers just overlaying over each other. If we want to repeat this for another set of data, like let's say this black line right here, the black line, if we look over here on our legend, is going to be the industry standard propanol. We will click on the color, and then we will click again on identify and find peaks. You're gonna get the same window where you're gonna drag everything over, make sure you get your peaks of interest. And once again, you are going to click where it says save. Now you'll see that you have the new peak numbers associated for that particular data now. And you can, like I said before, you can mess with these particular numbers to clean up your data a little bit. All right, so now that we have this saved, now that we have this, let's talk about saving your data. So you're going to go up here to File. You're going to click on Create Report. Give it a second. And you're going to see these 3 options pop up. Please click on Multiple Spectra. Click Options. Make sure that this spectrum information box is clicked away. And you're going to click OK, followed by hitting the button down here that says Create. Okay, once you do that, you are going to see this pop-up window pop up. Please go up here to the print icon in the top left-hand corner. You are going to click specifically on the side that says Microsoft Print to PDF. And once you do that, you will be given the option to save it in the form of a PDF. Now, for your purposes of your class, please make sure you go to your respective folder. The folder that I will use today is called Chem 211. I will create a folder called Test. Your instructor should have a respective folder for you and your class. I'm going to click on Test, and I'm going to just name it whatever my data is, which is Test IR. And then finally, I will click on Save. You want to make sure, double check that in your respective folder, your data pops up before you go away. So you can double check just by clicking on it, and you'll see that you'll have a PDF that is saved for you to use in your results for your experiments. So once you're completely done with everything, please make sure that you clean the plate and you clean the tip so that the next set of students can come and use the FTIR and they don't have to worry about any kind of contamination in their samples. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.